Breonna Taylor was killed because of racial profiling. That's today's topic. Black people have to take the time to explain accusations of racial profiling since we're on the inside looking out. Okay? And also we're going to explain what the connection is between Nazi policing and racial profiling. Hi, my name is Ida Batawe, and I'm a dirge drummer priest. We denounce Nazi policing against black citizens in America in the year 2022. Today is July the 29th, 2022. When we take cases involving the public execution of a black American citizen, black people have to look for racial profiling first, because as the word profiling tells us, we are looking for a pattern of criminalization. So racial profiling is a pattern of criminalization. Keep in mind that Nazi Germany, because we are talking about Nazis here, but Nazi Germany was not a democracy. That was a dictatorship. The Nazis could massacre the Jews at will, and they did. To make the Nazis policing work in the United States, the government, we're talking federal, we're talking state, we're talking local, they had to develop a systematic racism program that would exclusively racially profile black citizens. So the Nazi policing includes the firefighters and bus drivers and ambulances too. They're included. It also includes the DMV with that, that slave card they give you called a driver's license or ID. That's a slave card. And the Department of Justice. But if we want to stop the killings, then we have to focus on the killers. If we want to stop the killing of blacks, then we have to focus on stopping racial profiling, and we have to solve murder cases. The Breonna Taylor murder case, which took place in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, yeah, so I checked my notes. Breonna Taylor was killed on March the 13th, 2020. So that means that she's been dead now for about 2 years. But since her murder is unsolved, meaning that the people that murdered her have not been, there has been no punishment to them for killing this woman. So this is an unsolved murder, and 400 years from now, we'll be talking about the Breonna Taylor case. But her case gives us a clear picture of racial profiling. Immediately after her death, the general public was told the same old sorry line from the cops about them fearing for their lives. Now, this is a stock lie. And an out-and-out lie, especially when you consider that they killed this person in this person's own home. But as the Breonna Taylor investigation continued, black people are later told about the Breonna Taylor profile. And I say black people because this is who these profiles are made for. They're really not made for whites. They are if they want them, to mob, whatever. But for black people, because black people are kind of, I don't want to make any snap judgments about what they are, but these racial profiles tend to be geared towards black people listening to these cases. So racial profiling is not a once-in-a-lifetime path-crossing experience. That's what we really got to understand here. It is a premeditated, fake-ass, trumped-up, bullshit criminal dossier. Racial profiling is not a once-in-a-lifetime path-crossing experience. It is a premeditated, fake-ass, trumped-up, bullshit criminal dossier. If you don't think we were justified, the police say, in killing Breonna Taylor, but did you know that that negress got a letter from a negrel who was in jail? Really? But did you know that these Nazi cops intercepted that so-called letter that they actually dictated for the person to write? And Breonna Taylor never got such a letter. And then there was the dead body the cops said they found in the trunk of her car. Then what happened? Did the cops call Breonna? No. Did the cops subpoena Breonna? That's a dead body. They can subpoena her. No. Did the cops ticket Breonna Taylor for the dead body? No. So what did the cops do? They stole her car by seizing it and then sold the car to somebody else and then put the dead body as a debit on Breonna Taylor's profile. So the cops could use it as ammunition to justify her future execution. Breonna Taylor was racially profiled, so her death was a murder and not an unfortunate accident. These three cops, let me see what their names are. Their names are Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Matherly, Brent Hannison. But there were 7 cops there, by the way. Not these, just these 3. We don't know who the other 4 were. But we know these 3, okay? They intended to kill her. That's racial profiling. The cops construct a profile so that when shit hits the fan, they're prepared with the criminal police profile to help paint a picture of a criminal that should have been killed. The Nazis used this same ploy to massacre the Jews before World War II broke out. And when the Jews finally opened up their mouths to tell the rest of the world what was happening to them, nobody believed them. Most people believe that the Jews deserved to be exterminated because they believe the criminal profiles generated by the Nazi cops back then. This is not something new, and black people need to understand that. You might not want to recognize your history. You might not want to recognize slave history. You might not want to recognize, Jew history, but this is history. That's why it don't seem. That's why it don't seem undefeatable. It is defeatable, easily, but you got to understand what you're dealing with. That was then and then is now. This is the year 2022, and black Americans feel, by and large, that the only power that they have is to go along with the constant extermination of other black people by Nazi policing so that they can save themselves. It's common Christian, theme. Since 1865, black people have not tried to arm themselves with attorneys who is exclusively fighting for civil rights. Called that because of the Civil War. Black people are in a position now, today, to demand that 25% of all police budgets be allocated for the defense of black people who are fighting Nazi policing through racial profiling. This is probably the only thing black people can get. You're not going to get no reparations. They don't want to give you no fucking land. They don't want to give you none of that shit. And since they're determined to give you criminalization, they should be determined to give you the defense money so you can fight against it. Racial profiling is just, we know it's an extension of the institution of slavery because, once again, it gives the whitey whites advantages over black people. Speaking from experience, for the last 20 years, these racist Nazi cops have been burying me, the German priest, in nigger tickets. You know, the tickets where nothing on the ticket can be substantiated except your name and your slave driver's license number. Millions of black people are permanently entrenched in poverty because of racial profiling through nigger tickets. And we live in court, but we have to fight. If we don't fight, we're going to end up like Breonna Taylor. On the day Breonna Taylor was killed, her criminal profile already had 3 strikes against her. 1 strike is about 18 years. That's a life sentence for most people. Think about 25% of every police budget for the legal defense against the racial profiling of black people. We need to do that for Breonna Taylor. Think about it.